What if I told you that one of the most dominant fighters in modern UFC history comes from a small mountainous region in Russia, a place where discipline matters more than fame, where hard work is respected more than talent, and where champions are built long before they ever enter an arena? This is the story of Islam Makhachev, a fighter who didn't just rise through the ranks of the UFC, he conquered them. But to understand his success, we need to go back to where it all began. Back to the mountains of Dagestan. Born on September 27th, 1991, in Dagestan, Russia, Islam Makhachev grew up in a region known for producing some of the toughest combat athletes in the world. Life there was different. There were no luxury training centers, no social media fame, no shortcuts. The mountains taught resilience, the culture taught discipline, and the people valued strength, respect, and hard work above everything else. From a very young age, Islam was surrounded by combat sports. Wrestling wasn't just a sport, it was a way of life. Children learned how to compete, how to endure pain, and how to stay mentally strong. While many kids around the world dreamed about becoming celebrities, Islam was spending his days on wrestling mats, learning lessons that would shape the rest of his life. But there was another factor that would completely change his future, a man named Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, the legendary coach who would become one of the greatest mentors in MMA history. Abdulmanap wasn't just training fighters, he was building a system based on discipline, accountability, faith, and relentless work. Every athlete under his guidance followed strict rules, no excuses, no laziness, no quitting. Islam became one of his most dedicated students, day after day, year after year. While nobody outside Dagestan knew his name, the foundation of a future champion was quietly being built. The road was not glamorous. There were no cameras documenting every step, no headlines celebrating his progress, just endless training sessions, endless repetition, endless sacrifice. In 2010, Islam began his professional MMA career. At first he looked like another talented prospect, nothing more. He wasn't the biggest star, he wasn't receiving massive attention, and he certainly wasn't considered the future face of the lightweight division. But something important was happening behind the scenes. Every fight made him better. Every victory added experience. Every training camp improved his skills. While others chased popularity, Islam chased improvement. And over time, that difference became impossible to ignore. His record kept growing. His confidence kept growing. His abilities kept evolving. Then came the opportunity to enter the UFC, the biggest stage in mixed martial arts. For many fighters, reaching the UFC is the dream. For Islam, it was only the beginning. The competition was tougher, the pressure was greater, the spotlight was brighter, and not everyone believed he belonged among the elite. Early in his UFC career, he experienced setbacks and criticism. Many fighters would have been discouraged, many would have changed direction, but not Islam, because in Dagestan, adversity is part of the process. Challenges are not excuses to stop, they are opportunities to improve. Instead of becoming frustrated, he went back to work, back to training, back to learning, back to perfecting every detail of his game. And slowly, the results started speaking for themselves. Fight after fight, opponent after opponent, Islam began building one of the most impressive winning streaks in the sport. Fans started noticing, analysts started paying attention, and fighters started realizing something important. This man was different. What makes Islam Makhachev so dangerous? The answer isn't power. The answer isn't speed. The answer is control. Everything he does is designed to take control away from his opponent. His elite Sambo background allows him to dominate grappling exchanges. His wrestling enables him to decide where the fight takes place. His pressure drains the energy and confidence of his opponents, and his submissions punish even the smallest mistakes. When Islam takes someone down, the fight changes completely. The cage becomes smaller, the pressure becomes heavier, and every second feels exhausting. Many fighters enter the cage with confidence, but after a few minutes against Islam, that confidence begins to disappear because they realize they're fighting in his world. A world where every movement is calculated, every position is controlled, and every mistake has consequences. Years of discipline eventually led him to the moment he had worked for his entire life: the UFC Lightweight Championship, a belt that represents greatness, a belt that only the best fighters in the world can hold. When Islam defeated Charles Oliveira to become champion,